Good evening, everybody, and a big welcome Friday evening to Kahani Kancheti show. Now, Kahani Kancheti, as you know, is a platform, it's a digital platform, and we discuss matters concerning art and culture, which would cover anything from cinema to theater to books to poetry to almost everything. And we have a website. We do blogs, we review books, we review cinema, we review poetry, we run for photo gallery. We also have a YouTube channel, which we would ask you to come and subscribe to. And we keep running these Facebook live shows at least 4 to 6 a month. Now, as of this Friday, we have kicked off what is called Friday matinee. It's a very, very Indian middle class term, Friday matinee. Now, Friday matinees will be reserved for our shows on Friday, and those Friday matinee shows will be reserved for discussing anything to do with the cinema, and hence the Friday matinee, as you must have caught on. Now, what could be better than kicking off this Friday matinee business by starting off with a discussion on what is called OTT. Well, if many of you all who may not know what OTT is, I'm sure you all know what's Netflix, what's Amazon Prime, Hotstar, the works. It is like sitting at home and watching movies, watching web series, watching serials, watching everything. Now, OTT is a technological advancement, and of course, added to that, the pandemic has added to the popularity of OTT. Well, that is to put it mildly. And what has the OTT done? Like the way we had presented this event on our Facebook page, we had said that, there's been a very permanent middle class Indian syndrome across India. कि नई पिक्चर आई है, चलो सब देखने चलें. And that dekhne chalos would be your bahu, saas, nanad, bhaiya, including the Sarita Didi Palosi. It will be a big gang who will go there, and we have all enjoyed this matinee shows, evening shows, and we have loved the chips. Chips that is to come in those little crumbling, noisy potato chips. And of course, in the trunks in Kolkata, in the Tiger Cinema Hall, they would come with a kind of a trunk from which mutton patty would be sold, and we would love to eat into them, bite into them. Now, slowly over time, in fact, what we just said was this is a clip from Basu Chatterjee's Sara Akash, and the whole family, newly married, they all go and see a movie, matinee. But then the matinees slowly changed, the cinema halls changed, they started breaking down, they started, being handed over to real estate people. And what we have now, in most of the cinema halls across India, including class 1, class 2 towns, we now have malls and shopping arcades. So the cinema going habit gave way to plush carpets, popcorn, a huge glass of chilled Coke or Pepsi, and whatever. And we had these sliding seats in which we slided back and slided forward and did all kinds of things. So life changed. It became a lifestyle. It became a kind of a lifestyle statement. But then the pandemic happened, and all these cinema halls of all hues and shapes and sizes and class were not allowed to run shows. So that was the end of it. So what did we do? No, we did not sit back. We got on to OTT. We started subscribing. We probably have subscription because remember, a lot of these phone companies, they give you added subscription to Amazon Prime or something when you buy a number. So we were all watching movies on our mobile. And mind you, today there are two separate rates. There is a separate rate. I think Netflix charges you $199, restricted to watching movies on your mobile phone. And there is a $6.99 or whatever for the TV screen. So we thought we must discuss this, and this will be a wonderful start as to whether OTT is actually killing the cinema going habit. Is it becoming is it going to be the change agent in another shift in the Indian lifestyle? Or is it going to be just a passing phase? There are, obviously with everything, there are pros and there are cons. So we thought we are going to get two people today to come and discuss this, because they, in our opinion, in Kahani Kancheti's opinion, they are best suited to handle this. So let me first bring them on the screen one by one, and let me introduce them to you. I'm very happy to bring in, first of all, Joyashree Arora. Now, that's Joyashree Arora. I keep telling her, there are two things about her. She is, please notice that spelling. She writes Joyoshree. She is not Jayashree. There is a difference between Jayashree and Joyashree. She is Joyashree Arora because she is Joyashree Arora Ni Ganguly. So we can actually start having a dialogue in Bengali with her. We are both very comfortable doing that. So that's Joyashree. But I must tell you something about Joyashree. I keep referring to her as a part, as an integral part of the history of entertainment in India. Now, if some of you all who are watching are the younger lot, then you have to talk to your parents. If you are our age group, plus minus, then you will know why I'm saying it, because we have all grown up watching TVs, watching Hum Log. And Hum Log was the first big thing that happened to us on the television screen. And who was playing Bhagwanti in Hum Log? Joyashree Arora. And then we had the second big thing happening after that, Bunyad. And who was in Bunyad? Joyashree Arora. But I must tell you something about Joyashree Arora other than being an actor. There's a very interesting stories about her life. It's a big word, but there you are. She actually finished her schooling. When she was, I think, 13 or 13 and a half, because her father was in the army. And of course, she married to an army officer. So it's all in the army. I was going to say all in the family. So it's all in the army. And her father was being transferred. Aaj yahan, kal wahan. In the process, she actually did the impossible. She gained a couple of years. Unlike me, my father was in an MNC and he was being transferred. So I lost 6 months. She actually gained. And by the time she was 13 and a half, she had done with her school. Then she graduated and she has a master's in genetics. Well, Joyashree, did I get it right? Genetics, right?
Yes, absolutely right.
Yeah. Okay, there you are. Genetics. And she is a B.Ed. She started as a school teacher, but by the way, let me tell you, she is actually a Kathak dancer. She is into dancing. And those of you who are here from Kolkata will be very happy to know that that she actually is from Southern Avenue, and to make it very, very absolutely focus on the Avenue building, next to that Kali temple. That's her address in Kolkata. So there you are. Now, she also moved into Delhi and she started acting in theatre. She acted with Sheila Bhatt and with Joy Michael, and then suddenly she was Bhagwanti in Hum Log. So she has really been one of the first movers in the history of entertainment in India. So Joyashree, thank you very much for coming, because we think you will be able to tell us how the whole thing works. And now with that, I have got Monojit Lahiri. Monojit Lahiri has been in our show very often in the past. And thank you once again. And since we run an Adda, Kahani Kancheti, those of you who attend know we are all in the business of Adda. So Monojit Lahiri will immediately become Buchuda, because that's the way I have known him. When I was in college and he was already working. And very often we would drop into his advertising office to see Buchuda Kachkoche, writing, something like that. But thereafter, yes, because, whenever somebody elder to us, whose offices we could walk into. But then Buchuda and I continued to move along. We all both moved to Delhi. And we had his eldest brother who was mentoring me, Professor Surajit Lahiri. So Buchuda, as we all know, and by the way, one more thing, Joyashree, when we were in college and we knew Monojit Lahiri was writing in Filmfare. He was writing in Filmfare. So we would tell anybody, I know him.
Also,
He knows.
Ulto Roth. I think he used to write.
That's right. And then, as it so happened that Buchuda and I had once turned up at a place where we were both doing some amount of writing, a magazine which was very funny called The Hobby World. It was a friend of Buchuda called Mr. Prakash Bafna. I don't know where is he now. None of us know. So Buchuda has been writing in advertising. He has been my senior in advertising. He has been the senior writer. He's a veteran. And he has seen through this entire change from the late 60s right till now as he keeps on writing. So once again, Buchuda, a very warm welcome to the Kahani Kancheti platform. And I think I have taken more time than I could have asked for, but it is important. And Sheila, Mala, Obijit, thank you very much for having come in and marked your presence. I'm sure it will grow as we go. This show will be available on our YouTube channel within 2 hours after the show gets over. So my question to both of you all, please take it on from here. Is OTT killing the movie-going habit? Is OTT killing the economics of cinema? What is happening or what will happen? Buchuda, would you like to take it on from there? Yeah, I think Buchuda, you're muted. Your microphone is muted. Can you hear me? Your microphone is muted. No, the mic, the microphone.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Joshi is okay. We can hear him now.
Yeah. Now I can hear him. Yeah, but I can't see him.
There was a call that came in. That's why. Bolo. What was your question? What was the curtain raiser? My question was,
the curtain raiser was that is OTT going to take over the cinema going habit and all the economics and everything that goes with it, from the acting, technical to whatever, including advertising, because cinema and television have been big advertising platforms for advertisers. All right, you all go ahead. I'll go back.
Okay, what has happened in India? In India, entertainment is movies. Movies is Bollywood. Bollywood is stars. That is the simple equation from time immemorial, right? So cinema has always been an intrinsic part of the entertainment package. It's the cheapest, and it cuts through language and caste and creed and region, all of that. So it's always huge. It's the number one entertainment package, right? Now, this has been always there, and as you mentioned earlier, the greatest form of entertainment, collective, family, community, whatever, is cinema. And cinema going has always been, like going out, has been a major event. From days before, your clothes and, who you're going with, and it could be a date with your girl, it could be with your parents, it could be with the family, it could be with friends, it could be with friends and relatives, which you earlier mentioned. It was a major event, and it was a big event, right? And also, as I've always maintained, that the magic of the movie hall, Shujit, once the lights go off and once you're seated in that comfortable AC and the movie, the images come onto the screen, magic takes over. It is a willful suspension of disbelief. So the big hall is what cinema is about. Cinema is meant for the big halls. Now what suddenly happened in the last year and a half, suddenly there was a huge roadblock. The pandemic what it did basically is total disruption. It came in the way, and suddenly cinema took a huge beating, and it took a death blow because cinema halls went out. It was no entry. So going to the movies suddenly disappeared. Now, what do people do? I mean, movie going is a habit. It's like you're eating and sleeping. Cinema in India is a habit. It's the only form of real entertainment, popular entertainment for everybody. So what do? Now what has happened is enter OTT. Now enter OTT, and what OTT has done is, like lockdown life is the new normal, in this year and a half, OTT has become the new normal. It is the new normal because suddenly you have tons of films which you can see. You have a complete bouquet and a package. You have streaming platforms like Netflix and Amazon, etc., etc. Suddenly you have, like food, you have home delivery in terms of movies. And there's this massive range, variety. Do you know that India is the fastest growing OTT platform in the world? In India, we have over 40 OTT streaming lines across languages and regions. So we are very big. And OTT has come to stay. Now, will it kill cinema? Is, like you said, is the matinee dead? No. The matinee can never die because they're two diverse forms. You remember when television came to America in the 50s, Hollywood went into a panic and they didn't know what to do. But they soon found a solution by creating content that does not fit into the box. When television came to India, everybody was very worried. I mean, the Bunyads and the Hamlogs and the XYZ, I mean, it was super. In fact, your television stars were as popular as the film stars. They were really popular and the shows were very big. But did it kill movies? No. They were different. They threatened the movies. And there were times when, you told people that please don't come to my house between 6 and 7 because you're watching a show. So it ate into that. But movies were movies. The big screen, their compulsions and their templates were different. So will it kill the movies? Unlikely, but it will definitely have an impact on the movies because the variety and the content that has come into play has certainly changed the thinking pattern of the audience. There has been conversion, there has been exposure, there has been orientation. So definitely it has been an informative and educative thing. But will it make a difference? Will the movies fade away? Will they die? No, because the movies will always be the movies.
Movies can never go. That's a different thing. But you know what I feel? OTT is not so much of informative. Let's face the fact. You know what they are showing on OTT. Some of the projects, I suppose it is really going over the top. So OTT, it is matching what they are showing. See, OTT in a way, when the pandemic was there, of course, it was the only source of entertainment. But now what is happening, with OTT, that's binge watching, it is not very, very healthy for especially the teenagers and people. I would, though I'm from the entertainment world, but OTT taking over films, I don't think it is possible. No, it will never be. For the time being, it's okay, fine. When movie halls are not to its in full capacity and all. Yes, it's fine. But OTT can never take over movies. I don't think so. No. What has happened as far as OTT is concerned, believe me, actors, those who were not the stars, I would say, they are doing such a good job, like Pankaj Tripathi. He is one actor. You see, in movies, he got very minuscule roles, but in OTT, he is doing a wonderful job. So actors with performance caliber, they are getting roles and they are getting job. That is the best thing about OTT. That's what I feel.
Can we carry this a little further? You all are saying that OTT will not really replace the movie.
No, it cannot.
It cannot. But will it replace the television? I mean, when I say television, I mean these.
Yes,
I mean,
well,
not. Yeah, that's
television.
the point. Yeah.
Yes, they have to wake up content-wise, I would say. I being you see the television projects which used to be initially. Now, well, you can say, well, since you have been in those projects, that's why you're saying Hum Log, Bunyad. It really dealt with day-to-day people, arm admi, common people. If you remember, there were no garish makeup, there were no jewelry. Now things are absolutely different. What we are seeing on television. Well, I'm from television industry, of course. I mean, does it really happen in our real life? Or is it that what it used to be initially, that escapism films, those who couldn't see that money and wealth and all, they would see such movies and they'll feel, well, they're the heroes and the heroines. Are we doing that? Television, yes, has to wake up with OTT platform, I would say, because some of the content in OTT platform is fine, but they are going overboard as far as too much of intimate scenes and sleazy scenes. Let me tell you that is going to kill OTT in the long run.
Well, Joyshri, I can add a point to that. My son thinks that I watch that Family Man not because so much of the action, but because of the galis, freely used in the whole script. There's a lot of good galis that go across.
Oh my God!
Friend.
So that is informative, I suppose. That is the information we are getting. Types and types of galis, isn't it? Now tell me, do we really use this sort of?
Yeah, Buchida,
if I can come in about the television, you said, does it impact television? Joyshri made a point. Joyshri, for every reason, she's a part of the industry, but I've been viewing television, and as a TV buff and a film buff, you see, she has a valid point when she says that the quality of yesteryears were, I mean, when you see a Bunyad, or when you see a Khandan, or you see a Ados Pados, and a whole lot of those, the 80s shows, there was quality, there was class, there was fun, there was clean entertainment, etc. So that was there. And today perhaps that is missing. And today also in Hindi television or Bangla television or whatever you see a distinct kind of, there is this, the vamp, woman is vamp, and women are always after women, this kind of it sends out the wrong messages. Because see, what happens is, whether it's in Bengali or Hindi, you see the amount of bitching that goes around, one woman trying to destroy another woman. What happens is, everybody in the world, because the moving image, television or anything that plays on electronic media, everybody in the world, I think Joyshri and I were talking about this, everybody in the world does not have the sensibilities. They don't have an educated sensibility.
Absolutely.
What is good, what is bad. They are impressionable. So what happens is, what you see is what you get. I mean, you and I can say, no, this is just a movie. She's actually a nice person. But the point is, the person, and not only 2-tier or 3-tier, anybody, because the images are very powerful. And if you have this kind of a narrative going, this kind of a plot and story, and you're impressionable, it does not send out the right messages. That means that all the bhabis, all the mothers, etc., are lousy. All the guys are, you're sending out messages which are not very nice. And I'm not for a moment saying that television should be a social reformer, but at least it can stop sending out these kind of silly messages. And it just shows one thing. It shows that the television people, the production houses, obviously don't have the quality or the caliber of what Rishida is to say, narrate simple stories in a simple, interesting way. It always works. It did.
Monojit,
It did.
absolutely Monojit, because at that time, I mean, when we talk of Rishidas films, Basu Chatterjee's films, Basu Bhattacharya's films, vis-a-vis Hum Log, Bunyad, Sanjha Chulha, Dil Dariya, okay, Pratham
Yeah.
Pratishruti, okay, if that is the mirror of our society. But what we are seeing
And
now,
the other thing,
does
and
it
the other,
really happen?
and the other thing, and Joyශ්री, the other thing is also I debate the question, because a lot of people say, yeah, but those were, yeah, they were. I have a, the greatest directors in television or cinema or OTT. Serious need not be boring.
Yeah,
This is something, and that depends on the quality of. I mean, a Sujata or Bandhani, they're not highly entertaining films, and they were films with the messages. But were they boring? Did you
no,
want to go away? No, and a whole.
In fact, those movies where it was shown to everybody that what is happening in our society. The bad things like Achu. Now, these days, what are they doing? I mean, after all, we had such good movies, and I really feel television, they have to wake up.
They were basically, Shujit, they were films that I always say engaged, entertained, enriched, and the best of them empowered.
Very
So
true.
it does not
Very
have
true. Yeah.
it does not have to be boring. So television definitely needs a wake-up call, because what OTT is doing to television, to many of them, is many of them are turning away, because now they have a fantastic choice. You've got 500 films and you've got 40 kind of streaming platforms. I'm not obliged to see the Sas Bahu type or whatever stuff that you give. Of course, there are a lot of interesting serials also. But what I'm saying is the standard of television has really gone south, zoomed
Yeah.
down.
In fact,
No, but
there is a
see,
comment I want
television.
to-
We had Tamas on television. I mean, can you compare Tamas with any other show? You tell me.
And
So
there is, of course,
basically
Mala talks about. And here is Mala
basically,
talking about
Shujit,
Dukkal. Yeah.
No, basically,
Even
yeah,
Dukkal
of
was
course,
such
of
an
course.
interesting. Yeah, go on. Of course.
Oh,
of
brilliant.
Course, yeah,
No, basically, has OTT impacted television? I would imagine to an extent, yes.
Yes, it has.
Okay.
Definitely, it has.
Now, this is a question to Joyශ්రీ. Joyශ්రీ, I think you have done about 200 TV serials, starting from Hum Log. You have done, I think, you have done how many? About 35 movies. Different.
About 15, 16 movies, yes.
Okay, sorry, 15, 16 movies. And that includes things like Chak De India, and there are some big names in that.
Data and yes.
Yeah, Data. Yeah, there you are, Data. Now, the question is that I have a question here. We are talking about which is that it is going over the top. So the question that has come up is that should there be censorship for OTTs?
I can't. I mean, voice is not very clear, Sujit.
Okay.
I am not in.
Here is a question that's come on the chat box: that should there be censorship for OTTs?
Absolutely.
Censorship.
I am all for censorship, because the worst part about OTT is jo dil mein kiya dikhaya, as they say, which is not correct. I mean, these things don't happen. You see, I mean, why should well, there are so many ways you can show that intimacy, or I mean, every third scene. Well, I'm sorry, I'm diverting a little. I was watching the other day, Monojit, I was telling you, Ray,
Yeah.
5 episodes, 4 episodes, good
Four.
stories, very good stories, and especially that episode where KK Menon, such a good actor. I mean, why should they put in those sleazy scenes? I don't understand. The story didn't have that. And some of the stories were for kids. বাচ্চাদের গল্প ছিল. I mean, I don't have to tell you. I mean, they made a hash of it. One feels so bad. Ray, I mean, you would like to see Ray. Monojit, am I right or wrong? You tell me.
Yes, of course. It's created a furor, especially with the Bengalis,
Because they believe,
they believe they've killed the soul, all of that. But the point is, that is there. But What was your question, Shujit?
Censorship. Definitely there should be
Censorship. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that is one.
I'm divided here because on the one hand, I completely agree with Joyashree that certainly censorship should come in because many times unnecessary abuse words, unnecessary sex scenes, unnecessary subjects which are sexually sort of driven or oriented come into play. Many times not required at all, right? But that's true. It should come in there certainly. But the point is, there are and will be stories and plots where these things are abusive language is important. It's a part of the context, and a sex scene is important. But the problem with so therefore, I think they'll have to be cautious about how and when to use it, and not just go over the top and use it. Creative license should not be taken to an extent which makes it vulgar. Using a sex scene is not a problem, but the point is the context. Many times, as Joyce says, I agree. Many times it's unnecessary, and you don't have to be explicit at all. You are there propagating sensationalism. So that is not required. So,
Monojit, here, let me put it. The other day I was watching Asli Nakli, Rishi Das. Okay. Rishi, I had I'm fortunate enough to meet Rishi Das. Of course, he was unwell at that time. He had that gout and he couldn't. When I was doing Bunyad. There's a song, Ik But Banaunga Tera Aur Puja Karunga. If you remember. Shujit, I'm sure you must be remembering that song. There was a scene, it's raining outside, and Devanand and Sadhna, they're facing each other. Sadhna, she just picks a twig from Devanand's hair, And that scene, it is so much of romance that scene had. So much, just the eyes, the look, turning. That is romance. It's not kushti. That is not romance. And television, let's face the fact, it is of course, it is in your bedroom. But then you have TV room, you have your staff seeing it, your help seeing it. Many a time it happens, when these OTT programs are seen and they are, moving about, I have to say, close the door and watch, please. So these things, let's face the fact, television is for the family. We are, Bold and Beautiful has done all the damage, I'll tell you, whether television and OTT is one step ahead. So censorship has to be there. Definitely it has to be. It is the Bold and Beautiful. People went crazy with Bold and Beautiful. Believe me, I have not seen a single episode.
There you are. All right. Buchuta, Sonali wants to say hello to you. She was just on a message over here.
Hello, hi. Yes.
Okay. Now, another point. While it is true what you are talking about, OTT will not replace the matinee and that there should be censorship, etc., etc. Television needs a wake-up call. But don't we think that with the advent of a third vertical, if I were to take that cinema one vertical, television another vertical, and OTT as a third vertical, isn't it? OTT as a third vertical, isn't it opening up gates, opportunities for writers, content writers?
Of course it is, no doubt about it. Yes, definitely.
I have a point here, Shujit. What OTT is done in my book, while cinema and all is great, of course, and that's another template. To me, OTT has done a phenomenal thing, which Joyashree mentioned earlier on also. And it has suddenly, OTT has done what television did to the actors. These guys went to Bombay after NST, etc., and were starving. They were on the road. They had nothing, because Bombay of the 80s and 90s and things, they were into stars. I've met many of them, and I've been to parties where people used to ask me that, ये सीख विख के आया क्या, कोई सिखा, दिलीप कुमार सिखा, राज कपूर, this whole idea of a trained actor, etc., they used to laugh. Thank God television came. TV came and employed and used these trained actors, and you had some fantastic stuff happening. That's exactly what TV did in the 80s for the television actors and the trained NSD actors, OTT is doing to the brilliant actors who are completely abandoned by mainstream. You have a Tiska Chopra, you have a Rasika Dugal, or you have a Konkona Sen Sharma. The people who are very, very good, even Joyashree, people like that who are solid actors, powerhouse actors, but who will never get a chance because Bollywood has its own kind of, own kind of compulsions. They have their camps and they have their vision. Their vision, it's about stardom. OTT is about actors, and the Bollywood is about stardom. Now, what is happening? It's because of these a lot of fabulous films showcasing talents of writers and directors and actors. It has definitely provided opportunities to showcase great talent. So, absolutely, yes, it's a fantastic space and place to reveal great performances, quality stuff. Now, will it translate into them getting employment in the mainstream cinema? Is to be seen. But the fact that they are doing very well, they hugely appreciated. Pankaj Tripathi was unknown 2 years ago. I remember seeing him 5 years ago in a film called Masan, which is a magnificent film. Unfortunately, commercially it didn't do as well as it should have done, because again, it was non-starry, etc., and it was non-mainstream. I mean, the whole storyline, etc. But where was Pankaj Tripathi? In fact, I was reading interview that he's been hanging around for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. No one heard of him. Thanks to OTT, and that these guys, Manoj Vajpayee is such a brilliant actor. They are getting more scope here and showing good stuff. So, is it an opportunity? Is it something that's fantastic? Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
It's like a film school, People keep saying, Asham Benegal, Apurna Sen, Shabana Azmi, they keep saying that film appreciation should be taught in school, so that you at least orientation and initiative good cinema comes only from exposure. That exposure never happened. With the result, you have the Bollywoodization, or the masalification, if you like, of the mass audiences towards Bollywood. So you
Absolutely.
I won't say art cinema, the other cinema, the cinema, the intimate cinema, that is given very, very little attention, which is very sad. OTT is now making corrective measures, and OTT's advantage, it runs into 300 countries. It goes all over the world. No one gives a damn whether it's here. I mean, it goes all over the world. So you're acclaimed and you're acknowledged and you're praised across the world. So OTT are huge advantages for actors, writers, directors.
No doubt about it. It is only the content and censorship. Once it comes, as I always said, the TV serials, they have to wake up now. Content-wise, technically, you see, OTT, I mean, it is no doubt about it. Web series, but only thing is they have to be, mellow down as far as these.
And the other thing and the other thing, Shuji, that is fantastic with OTT is it allows creative experimentation, creative adventurism, which mainstream does not allow you to do, because the first thing they'll say, kahani kya hai, star kaun hai? You don't get, and also it breaks the vice grip of the producer, distributor, exhibitor. You don't have to beg and borrow, and they give you a time at Regal Cinema, morning show, and then they chuck it out to night show. All that rubbish is not there. You go to a streaming platform, go to Amazon, Netflix, and you're on. So it's a it's a fantastic platform.
This is a question related to the economics of OTT versus cinema. Is that, earlier on, as you were talking about, that when you made a film, the producer paid up to a certain amount, and then you had opened up to the distributors, and there would be one guy who will come and say, I will take North India. The poorest guy would say, I will take territories. Yeah. But now there are no territories. So what happens to this economics? the sheer economics. I'm not saying whether OTT is better than matinee or matinee better than TV. The sheer economics. Now, take for instance the case of Radhe, that Salman Khan film, which actually bombed in the theater. And what did they do? They said, okay, now this is not happening here. Let's get on to an OTT and pass it out by that logic. So where is this economics going to go? After this, we have addressed this issue. I have one final issue to talk to you all about. So tell me, where will this economics go? What will happen to the distributors? Will they be out of jobs?
Well, where OTT is concerned, distributor doesn't come in at all. Now, what is happening with the production houses? You see, what has happened is a Yash Raj and a Venkatesh in Calcutta are, speaking about, they've got cinemas, they're lined up for the theaters, etc., etc. But they are hastening slowly. They're cautious because what has happened is they've got a body blow with Radhe. Salman, with all his bravado and stuff, and all the swag and all that, came out and said, "No, I've promised, and I've taken oath that I'm going to release it in theaters, etc." He couldn't because it's not about oath; it's about whether it's allowed or not. They did release it in a few theaters, whichever it was allowed. It was a thundering flop in the theater. Obviously, because it wasn't a very good film. That's another matter. But it was a flop. And the fact that it did not do well in theaters also is a body blow to anybody who's thinking of theatrical releases. Because theatrical releases, two things happen with theatrical releases. Number one, in my book, the panic is not going to leave in a hurry. Your pandemic you may say that from December, okay, the halls are open, etc. But I can promise you that 90% of the people will think thrice before going to the halls. They're scared. They're running scared, because 2 years of this kind of stuff really sort of puts the fear of God in you. I will only go if Shujit has gone. I say, Shujit, have you gone? Have you gone with your family? Shujit said, no, Dada, I haven't gone, but there's a friend of mine who's planning to. So what is happening is it's going to take a long time for life to really hit the normalcy button. So no one's going to go to the movie halls in a hurry, right? So in terms of so that is not happening in a hurry. Theaters at some point will release, but that's not happening. Economics is they're selling it to the streaming platforms, and it depends on your clout. If it's a Shah Rukh Khan film, or if it's a Salman Khan or a Amir or a big star film, and you sell it to it's like satellite TV. If it's a big name and if it's a Yash Raj film, then obviously he'll get good bucks. But will he get the bucks that he would have got if he sold it to distributor, exhibitor, that kind of a thing? Unlikely. But that is something I don't know. That's a technical thing. But what has happened is that the distributor, exhibitor, and producer, that nonsense is completely gone. Now the individual creative artist can, if he has a good story worth telling, he can actually go to streaming platform and cut loose. That can happen. And regarding here, you have TRP in television. In OTT, you have season 1, season 2. So if yours is a really good show, if you've got 8 episodes, 20 episodes, and it's doing really well, it moves over to the second season. That shows, that it's got, right. And it makes money in its own way. But I doubt whether it makes that kind of money. But that again, that is a financial thing that production houses will do.
No, but if you take this, The Family Man, well, very nice production and good story, and there's one can really enjoy such projects. That's what it is. Story has to be there. I mean, let's face the fact, whether it is film or it is television or it is OTT, hero is the script.
Very true. Very true.
The script is fine, everything is fine. That's what it is.
Sure. One last question to both of you, and this is something that I wish there are some people from our fraternity, advertising fraternity, who are watching this, or maybe they will comment later when this is up on YouTube. There is a concern from the advertising point of view, and that is, in the 70s, 80s, when we were just into advertising, I come from the advertising class of 76, 75. Um, Cinema was a huge medium for X number of products. Huge is not the word. I think, we made more money, the agency made more money making prints because they had to be distributed by Blaze, who of course made a lot of money. They said,
Yeah, yeah.
Blaze, remember that Blaze
Blaze.
TV? And so one day the television came in and the cinema dropped, and Blaze actually started getting into film production and film distribution. They, if you remember, were the distributors for
Shyam Benegal.
Shyam Benegal's, yeah, Ankur was distributed, so that was up. So that revenue went out, but then the film production continued because they were being now made into television, TV, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever. Now, television versus OTT. So cinema advertising versus TV advertising versus OTT advertising. Now, there is no technically OTT advertising in that sense. It's only that. So what happens to this advertising medium? I mean, how does that work? This is something, that's why I was hoping that there'll be some advertising friend who is into the media part of the advertising to tell us, because for instance, as we are all saying, The Family Man is really a class production, I mean, in all sense. Absolutely. And so everything is going fine, but what happens to the advertising part of the business? So that's something that I would like to, hopefully we can. Well, right now we can only ponder about it.
I think these are early days. Advertising came into television. Don't forget, after the cinema, when TV came, Blaze was exited and it came on here, and advertising was huge. I mean, television lived on advertising. Like the newspapers. I mean, they were really, they were flush with funds and all that, and the TRP came into play, and all of that happened. Now, OTT is comparatively new. These are early days, but I'm sure the advertising quotient, the component will come in, because, see, if yours is a popular show, Family Man is hugely popular, XYZ, so there are 20 very Sacred Games, etc. So very, very important, very popular shows. The moment it's a popular show, advertising agency or advertising communities hawk-eyed. They wait for these, because they go by numbers. If this is what is happening, if the TRP is big, you get advertising revenue, So that will happen with OTT. As of now, I am not qualified, and I don't know how this particular procedure is going to come into play as yet. But I'm sure they'll find a way.
Well, I'll tell you something. This word TRP, I think the quality of serials have gone down with this TRP.
Very true. Very true.
Initial
very
days,
true. You know why, Jayashree? You know why? Because what is happening is great filmmakers or quality people who are confident about their content. They don't pander and they don't cater. TRP is a catering. You find one particular episode which is not working, you immediately, because you're in a panic. No, they don't like this girl. Throw her out. This is working. This idiotic, stupid buffoon act is working. So give him another 2 episodes. So you're catering, you're pandering. It has nothing to do with quality, or let's forget the word
creativity.
No, forget that. No, creativity is a bad word with all this. It doesn't work. It doesn't come into play here. It does not come in.
That is the creativity. You see, the catering for TRP.
You're catering and pandering all the time, and that is, you're into the catering business and the pandering business. You're not into. So what is the audience? What does the audience want? What does the audience want?
I as an audience. Now let me tell.
If that is the way you're going to look at it, then then you're talking of a different thing. You're sold out. You're sold out completely.
What is happening? I'll tell you what I feel, Shujit and Monojit. What is happening? That these for years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 3.5 years, 2.5 years. If you compare to what it used to be, the serial goes on. Now, I understand. I, as an artist, definitely I would like to be employed. And so
Yeah.
would be the production houses, you understand? What they
Yeah,
should,
yeah, of
I mean,
course.
I as an artist, I mean, I get fed up, absolutely fed up when I'm, the same role I'm doing for 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years, it becomes, it is really, I mean, tiring. It is tiring for an actor. Now, what I feel, I as an artist, I as a viewer, what I feel, and also as an artist who should be employed properly. Now, all these production houses, channels, they should say, okay, 3 years or 3.5 years, we have to make 3 serials. That is what is happening. What is nice with this OTP: first season, second season, third season. Okay, let the artist be the same. You understand? Little bit of that story, fine, but don't. Or you can have different stories, as we have 15 stories, or kahani as we have different stories. Take an author or different stories. That way, even an artist will get some breathing time. There will be a novelty as far as performance is concerned, and viewers will get to see good work. At that time, TRP won't be there. This problem of TRP won't be there. That's what I feel. I don't know what you two feel about it.
No, no, correct. I say TRP has happened because they have trivialized creativity, right, into a business. Now, of course, it's a business, but of course, it's a business. Of course, there's employment, blah blah blah. Unless people see it, etc. It's a consumer business. I mean, it's got to be consumed like anything else. That's fine. But shouldn't there also be a certain sense of confidence, a certain sense of creativity, a certain sense of taking the story forward, a certain sense of fearlessness? Why are you
Freshness.
always in a fresh? Why are you always in a panic and worried that he will not like it? Put another song, get another girl in, get this guy out. Why? I mean, it just shows that you have you're not. There is nothing of quality or content or creativity at all. And the production houses are happy with it, which is rather sad, because we have seen that good quality in series also works wonderfully, goes very well.
It does. It does.
I
In
remember
fact,
the serial.
yeah,
I remember,
yeah.
Sujit, when I did this Hindi serial Pratham Pratishuti, and I had an opportunity to meet Asha Purna Devi. She was very happy. That I'm so happy and authentically it is being done, because it was being
Yeah.
done exactly the same way how she has visualized. Why can't we have these great novels and great work of great writers have 15 episodes, have 20 episodes, have 26 episodes? An artist will be employed, as I say, production house will be producing good projects, and it will be a newness for the audience also.
I tell you something,
Very true.
Shujit, Shujit, you will completely connect with what I'm saying, because it embraces advertising, which is our profession. I mean, from all our profession, and cinema, being a template. The point is, once upon a time, and I say this repeatedly in my workshops or whatever, once upon a time we experienced things. Cinema had an audience. Today, if you pitch something, they will not tell you whether you have an audience anymore. Audience has been replaced by market, and experience has been replaced by consume. Everything is consumed, not experienced. You experience Madan Mohan, you experience great performances. Today, you consume. Life completely has been trivialized to a Pepsi Cola. Buy, consume, throw. It has been reduced to a consumer perishable. So in this kind of an environment, this is what you get. This is what you get. That was a different time. It was a different place. This is a different time, and of course, good things work. But then you need that kind of a person to have the guts, to have the fearlessness, to have the confidence, to have the drive to say, no, it's going to happen. And of course, there are people, but much more of this should come into play to make it a richer kind of an audiovisual space where
Sure.
OTT and cinema can be juxtaposed in supreme harmony, and that can be totally possible. Hopefully, that will happen. We can only hope.
Hopefully that will happen. And just like you said, Madan Mohan was an experience. honey, what some honey sing is consumed. That's the difference between Madan Mohan's
Yeah,
experience
Mika,
and
Mika,
honey sing. No, not
Mika.
Mika. There is one honey, some honey
Honey, of
in
course,
this
yeah, Honey
picture.
Singh. Yeah, he's very
Yo,
popular.
Honey
Honey
Very
Singh,
Singh.
yeah.
popular.
Yo,
Yo,
Honey
yo,
Singh.
yo,
Yo,
Honey
Honey
Singh.
Singh.
He's
Yo,
consumed.
baby, yo. Yo.
Yo. And as Joyce said, sadhana, breaking the twig of the tree in that song is an experience. It is something that is not consumed, it is experienced. And right now, as we speak, Shruti Tho, a fellow advertising colleague, he says that, like what we were discussing, that advertising on OTT will get a new avatar, something else will happen. Right now, we don't
Oh yes,
know
oh
what's
yes,
going to
oh
happen.
yes.
Yeah. And then secondly, he says that OTT has definitely opened a vast avenue for creativity and brilliant ideas. Yes, it has broken
Absolutely,
a
absolutely.
monotony and fatigue that was brought in by the television. That's what Joshi was saying, wake up call, correct. And finally, he says that we now get to see some interesting subjects, on. And he has also told you, Buchuda, that well said, sir, it is all consumed, not experienced these days. Now, I think we have looked into it in all aspects. But before I let you go, Joyshi, this is one question for you. You did Hum Log way back when that was the first serial we had, and we all got glued onto it. After the Hum Logs and Bunyads and the middle class and the partition and all that happened, we got into a Saas Bahu. That was a new kind of a game plan, Saas Bahus.
Yes.
You as the Bahu in Hum Log, Bhagwanti, how would you have shifted onto a Saas Bahu battle, 10, 15 years later?
No, I did. I did a project with Bhatyas. Yahan Main Ghar Ghar Kheli. There I was a Saas, and a Saas was very real, very natural, and Barjatias. They are total
Yeah.
family, and the Saas went against the son because the daughter-in-law, the granddaughter-in-law was tortured by her son. So she was with the daughter-in-law. So, yes, of course. And my latest one, which 2 years ago came, Colors again. And mind you, when this channel Colors was launched, our show was the first show. Mere Ghar Aayi Ek Nanni Pari. Okay. After that, I did Dev, which had two seasons. And Saas Bahu, I suppose, when I did when I did Hum Log, there was a big article that mothers-in-law, they wanted their daughters-in-law as Bhagwanti and not like Rajini. Okay, so somebody said that if you see Bhagwanti in real life, she is more of a Rajini. So it is the character. It is the character. And I suppose today, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, I hope, we go back to a matinee and evening show and night show. They go together to watch a movie. They have their popcorns. They use the same shade of lipstick. They use the same sort of perfume. And so now Saas Bahu, I suppose they are very, very friendly and cordial. And television Saasas are not there so much. Yes, when Hum Log was done at that time, yes, in villages, mothers-in-law were almost like that, but 36 years ago. But now things are changing. See, so I suppose that is why I would like television. The storyline should change. They shouldn't bother about TRP. The quality which we are seeing in OTT. I wish OTT, that censorship is there. I'm sure live and let live. Everybody will be able to live very nicely.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure this is the first word that we have had in any platform regarding OTT, and that too with Joyshri and Monojit Lahiri. So, and this will not be the last. So maybe, we will review this situation maybe after 6 months, maybe after some time when I'm going to get all of you back again.
We'll do a season 2 on this.
And OTT is having that teething problems, as we were discussing, Monojit.
These are early days.
Let the Desi tour to come out, and everything will be fine, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Hey,
And like you say, Buchuda, there'll be a season 2 to it. We will do. And as far as Kahani Kanchiti is concerned, I think there couldn't be anything better to pick up a subject, and the way the discussion went for our Friday matinee sub-branding, which will happen only on Fridays to discuss anything to do with cinema, television, and now OTT. So that's what we are going to do. And first of all, thank you all for coming and joining this show. And you can tell your friends to watch this on YouTube. Another 2 hours time it will be up. And
Pleasure was entirely
Josh-
ours, Shudit, let me tell
Oh,
you.
Joyshri and Buchuda, thank you so much. Buchuda, thank you for giving me this original
Welcome,
idea
very
of
well.
why aren't we
Very-
doing an OTT?
very
And
welcome.
then
Yeah.
connecting me with Joyshri, who the first time we spoke,
I
let me
pitched,
tell you,
I pitched the idea. I pitched the idea to you, and I also
Yeah,
suggested get Joy.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Monoji.
yeah.
You know, it's
Because,
good to have good
very well.
friends, you see. It's wonderful
Yeah.
to have good friends.
and Joyshri, this is what I was saying, that the first time we spoke on the phone, it seemed to me that তোমার সঙ্গে তোমার অনেক দিন আগেরই আলাপ ছিল। মানে
তাই
why
তো,
is Buchuda
তাই
introduced?
তো।
হ্যাঁ,
Acha, another
we
thing,
were-
let me tell you. Another thing, we are
Yeah.
talking of OTT. Again, the latest topic is the fast connection. So I'm sure we must be having
Oh.
some fast connection.
Fast connection.
Again, that is the latest fast connection, you see.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. And as Mala Mukherjee says, very interesting session, and that she loved it. Yes, we did. It was really, really, really interesting. We'll be back again. Thank you
And
very much for
Should you
Thank
give
you.
the show.
Should
Yeah.
you give me a link, because a lot of people that my friends, etc., many of them were not able to see today, so send it across.
YouTube. I'll give you both. I'll send link to both of you all. And Joyshri, please enjoy your husband's birthday party.
Thank
Bang on,
you
move on
so
from-
much.
Yeah,
This is
many
lovely.
happy returns to Narendra. Yeah,
Very
many
happy
happy
returns.
returns.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Lovely
Thank you.
talking to
Thank you.
the two of you. Wonderful,
Super.
Shujit and Monojit.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Likewise,
Super.
Thank you,
likewise,
Joyshri. Thank you,
likewise.
Buchuda.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you very much for joining us. And we hope to see you in our next show, which will probably be on the 7th of August. And our guest will be a young writer who has written a wonderful book called Intersection, Gautam Meghale. So please keep following us and we will come back to you. Thank you.